Tragic news in the hip-hop community as one of their most treasured companions has passed away. Their favorite scissor is being pulled from shelves.
9 times out of 10, if you around me, I'ma have some drink on me though. Like I'ma always have some lean though, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, Actavis is like it's the coating that changes it to pink.
It changes once you mix it. Okay.
Yeah, it changes it to pink.
Also, you get caught sipping drink, and man, you know they going to the doctor. They shutting the doctor down now. Now, no, we can't sip drink because some dumbass put it on Instagram Live.
On April 24th, 2014, a pharmaceutical giant issued a statement. A product that had been in circulation for decades is suddenly discontinued. The reason isn't explained here, not yet. Only the fact it was over. The supply chain stopped. Pharmacies across America were cut off. Actavis wasn't a boutique lab. It was the evolution of Watson Pharmaceuticals, founded in the 1980s and expanded into a global corporation after acquiring Allergen. Its influence would reach from boardrooms, shaping policies and profits far beyond the lab. And tucked inside of its long list of products was one that would eventually grow from the pharmacy counter and spill into culture: promethazine with codeine cough syrup. And by the 1990s and early 2000s, that syrup had taken on a life of its own. In hip-hop circles, it will become a symbol, the drink of choice, the soundtrack to a slowed-down lifestyle. Many trace its roots to Houston, where it was said that local artists would mix it with soft drinks and craft an entire subgenre around its hazy tempo. Others say the culture spread organically, passed from the studio through rap lyrics as the music evolved. However it began, the double cup became a signifier of influence, status, and identity. Something both celebrated and coveted. And then came the microscope. 3 months before the huge announcement, a global pop icon was allegedly caught with bottles of prescription codeine syrup inside of his Los Angeles mansion. The story would dominate headlines, and for the first time, a product that had lived quietly in music circles but hidden from mainstream scrutiny. Within 90 days, Actavis shut production down. Officially, the company cited widespread abuse by recreational users. Unofficially, the whispers pointed to a different direction. That's how this story begins. A bottle, a brand, a culture, and in Miami, one man chasing music, money, and recognition would find himself standing at the intersection of all three.
Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Fall off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
The city of Miami in the 2000s was split between opulence and hustle. Luxury condos would rise on Biscayne Boulevard, while the sound of trap music would shake through block parties and the clubs across Miami Beach. Known as the home of bass music, hip-hop would become part of the city's identity, shaping its fashion, slang, and ambition. What had begun in Houston's screw culture soon drifted east and found a home in cities like Miami. Lean, scissor, purple drink. It was more than a beverage. It was a luxury. And having it required access. And for that, you needed a plug. 15 miles northwest sat Hialeah, 98% Hispanic, mostly Cuban. a city of tight families, churches, and bakeries, far from celebrity, but close enough to touch it. And this would be the environment that would shape Harrison Garcia, an ordinary block with ordinary ambition. He would watch Miami artists live like stars and learn that image could be power. Hialeah produced workers, not moguls, but Garcia was already studying how to cross that line, an image that years later would bring federal scrutiny.
Welcome to Hialeah, Florida. This is Jose from Southern Life.
Ain't kidding.
And this is one of the most majestic... Get that damn Mario Mayho! This is one of the most majestic cities in Florida, Hialeah. 98% Hispanic, mostly Cubans. This is what life in America is about.
And a city known more for producing Major League Baseball players than kingpins, Harrison Garcia will find his own way attending Miami Springs High. While others dreamed of contracts or corner fame, he was drawn to the culture. Miami was loud, visual, and competitive, and Harrison Garcia needed to stand out in all of it. It was these same streets that gave him pride, but also made him hungry for more. Growing up seeing the limits of a working class city, he decided he wouldn't stay within them, eventually rebranding himself under the monikers Cuban Harry and Muhammad A. Lean. He would blend all of Miami's flash with a dash of street credibility. On Instagram, he would flaunt designer clothes, fast cars, and drugs. Every post looked like a short film, angles, lighting, caption, a curated vision of success. He wasn't just promoting music though. He was packaging an identity. His feed would begin to blur the line between ambition and reality. Through mutual friends, he would connect with young money artists like Hood Baby and Gutta Gutta, moving closer to Lil Wayne's circle. And those connections brought access and attention. But in the digital age, attention can be fatal. And with social media more and more becoming a new tool for law enforcement, federal agents would begin scrolling the same feed his followers praised, decoding captions, tracking plates, and building a timeline. To his followers, he may have looked like part of the entourage, but to investigators, he looked like evidence in motion.
Florida man has been sentenced to 30 years in prison after he was found guilty of being the quote-unquote CEO of the Purple Drink. So if you listen to rap music, you've probably heard a little bit about the Purple Drink, and apparently there is a criminal element to it, and it involves Harrison Garcia, the man who was just sentenced to 30 years in prison. Now, according to federal prosecutors, Garcia was responsible for pumping the South Florida music scene with the concoction, and it's a mix of promethazine with codeine, soda, and Jolly Ranchers. It's also known as scissorp and lean. So this is an amazing story. I don't know, I just found it super fascinating because of how incredibly dumb this criminal is, okay? So the reason why he got in trouble and the reason why he got caught was because he was bragging about it on Instagram incessantly. And so federal prosecutors were like, oh, this guy, we think he might be tied to a string of string of burglaries with, these drugstores in the South Florida area. Now, the 27-year-old relentlessly boasted online, referring to himself as the CEO of Purple Drink, and even sporting a pendant featuring a diamond-encrusted styrofoam cup.
Gee, I wonder if he was doing it. I can't quite tell.
Oh, yeah. So they opened
That's what they drink Purple Drink in. I mean...
The red cup, right?
Yeah, it's styrofoam cups overall.
I think it's those red cups, though. No, it's styrofoam. I don't know. I've never had the Purple Drink.
Oh, so sure you have a nice little trick there, yeah.
Let's give you some information about his Instagram page and what he posted on there. Records provided by Instagram pursuant to the search warrant revealed direct messages sent and received by Garcia in which Garcia negotiated with customers for the sale of promethazine with codeine, marijuana, and other controlled substances, and also agreed to provide the requested narcotics. They did go ahead and search his home. After his arrest, Garcia directed police to a stash house in suburban Miami. There, law enforcement found a fully loaded AK-47 assault rifle, a loaded Uzi submachine gun, and 3,000 Xanax pills.
I don't know why they think that he might be doing something wrong.
Starting in 2016, federal investigators would quietly map out Harrison Garcia's world. Agents from Homeland Security Investigations, the DEA, and local task force had begun following his online presence for months. With every post, every caption, every photo where he flaunted the visuals of success, jewelry, exotic cars, and what would eventually become his downfall, Actavis. Each piece would eventually be cataloged as digital evidence. His Instagram would become the timeline of an investigation. Through surveillance and controlled purchases, investigators would confirm what his feed already suggested. Harrison Garcia wasn't just posting codeine, he was supplying it.
Where's you going to? Orlando. How many raining over there? Oh, for me, bro. One of that little porn night shit. Oh, that's already going on? Yeah. I got down to that bitch last year. I got banned a couple years ago from there. That is sense. I'll give you $10. Got $10. I'll give you $10. Oh, no, like 60, I got that. What I know. Is it 900? No, there's a 2, 3 and 1 rush, and there's 2 pints of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 17. I put all the moon rocks in one jar, but... Yeah, that's just for the head, though, but you never know, though. So you can split them up, you feel me? Yeah, right. I want to be cutting your shit up in different pieces. 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. $27.30, right? Yeah, I gave you the $10 right there. Got it, Mitchell. For sure, bro. Entiendo. A ver si nos das una motica. That nigga's a matter. A ver si nos das una motica. That nigga's a matter of time, dog. He's too loud, bro. He's too loud. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Yep. Alright, where y'all gonna go? Watch us get pulled over now. Alright. Make a left. I'm gonna make a left. I'm gonna make a left better. Right his heat up. Alright.
Court records would show undercover agents made controlled buys linking Garcia to the sale of codeine-laced cough syrup, marijuana, and firearms. They monitored vehicles leaving his residence and mapped a small but active distribution network across South Florida. The same posts that once built his image were now fueling the government's case. And by October 18th, 2016, the investigation would reach its breaking point. More than 40 Homeland Security agents would execute a federal search warrant at his Westchester home. A coordinated team would block surrounding streets while air support circulated overhead. When Garcia pulled away in his black Chevrolet Suburban with two associates connected to Young Money's circle, agents would close in and make the arrest. Inside the home, agents seized cash, firearms, designer clothing, and luxury vehicles, and one sealed bottle labeled Actavis, promethazine with codeine, a product that had already been discontinued 2 years earlier. For investigators, that single bottle was more significant than a routine discovery. It was validation. It validated months of surveillance, undercover buys, and digital tracking. Everything they had seen online had now turned into physical evidence sitting right in front of them. And from that day forward, Harrison Garcia's digital life and real life would merge into one. The same attention that made him famous would now be used to dismantle him.
This is the home of the world's most famous teen. Police surround Justin Bieber's mansion in California, armed with a search warrant. But it's not crimes against music he's wanted for. The pop star's accused of throwing eggs at his neighbor's house.
It was a vandalism case that involved eggs, but the amount of damage brought it into the felony section, which is why we did a search warrant.
If I was your boyfriend, never let you go.
Bieber may have escaped arrest for now, but his rapper friend Lil Xar was held on suspicion of cocaine possession. Police deny that the incident was used as an excuse to carry out the raid.
If I was your boyfriend, never let you go.
This isn't the first time there's been a lack of neighbourly love amongst residents here. The 19-year-old's previously been accused of spitting at a local and driving recklessly through the area. And if you're wondering just how much damage an egg can really do, the answer is, apparently, around £12,000.
2 years before Harrison Garcia's arrest, a global pop icon's Calabasas mansion was raided. Authorities were said to have found drugs inside the home, allegedly Actavis promethazine with codeine, a product already notorious in hip-hop circles and coveted across the country. Within 3 months, the company behind Actavis announced the production would cease, citing widespread abuse. The timing of the raid and the announcement would spark a media frenzy, pushing scissor culture from music lyrics to mainstream headlines. The announcement sent shockwaves through hip-hop. A product once confined to Houston's mixtapes had become a national status symbol. And now, suddenly, it was gone. Street prices would double, counterfeit bottles would flood cities from Atlanta to Los Angeles, and scarcity turned syrup into a mythology. And in Miami, the timing couldn't have been sharper. Harrison Garcia's Instagram would fill the void. While the pop star scandal made Actavis infamous, he would help make it iconic. His photos and videos gave the brand a second life, a visual resurrection after death. What mainstream headlines condemned, he turned into cultural currency.
Tragic news in the hip-hop community as one of their most treasured companions has passed away. Their favorite scissor is being pulled from shelves.
Actavis, the company that makes the really high quality, specific, great tasting lean. Great tasting lean.
Taste the seizure.
The company discontinued the codeine product they make.
Yep, Actavis cough syrup, the primary ingredient of Scissorp, aka lean, preferred by the likes of Soulja Boy, Lil Wayne, and Bieber, is finito.
They say they realized it became popular as a recreational drug, so they discontinued the product.
To prosecutors, it was ironic. A pop star scandal may have forced a shutdown, but a trapper from Hialeah would show why it mattered. Harrison Garcia's online persona would magnify the product's appeal, transforming a corporate decision into a cultural event.
Come on, you really buy that they're just walking away from profit?
You don't think that it's not probably working very well?
Isn't it possible that they're doing the right thing?
A pharmaceutical company.
Maybe.
Give me a break!
Wow, big pharma. A little thalidomide goes south on you and people still hold a grudge. Anyway, if you really want to point the finger,
Justin Bieber ruined this. Everybody was leaning it up, having a great time. One little white boy does it, we gotta get rid of it.
it's on you, Biebs!
TMZ didn't care about lean until Justin Bieber started leaning. You're welcome, rap world.
9 times out of 10, if you around me, I'ma have some drink on me though. Like I'ma always have some lean though, 9 times out of 10. But I ain't gotta necessarily drink it. You dig what I'm telling you? But I gotta smoke though.
A lot of people blame you and Justin Bieber for the reason that Actavis is no longer on the shelves. They said that y'all made it mainstream.
We did. My bad.
All right, so they have like, they have fake activists. Like they have fake everything.
They got fake everything.
And so I don't drink red, green, nothing like that. All I do is drink Actavis. So when they said they were going to stop making Actavis way back when.
Now Actavis is pink?
Yeah, Actavis is like, it's the coating that changes it to pink.
It changes once you mix it, okay.
Yeah, and it changes it to pink. Once Actavis, once Justin Bieber and a few other artists of high caliber started getting caught with this kind of drink.
Okay, hold on. Justin Bieber got caught with Actavis. We did not know that. Let's make some noise for Justin Bieber.
Where's your double cup? Or where's your white cup? Oh, okay, yeah, we know you got served. What do you mean? This is coffee, officer. What are you talking about? You know, we might just sip our drink out of a Starbucks cup. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to hide it. We ain't trying to spotlight it like it's the Batman signal to the whole world. Hey, everybody, we sip drink. Man, nah, fuck no. Also, you get caught sipping drink and man, you know, they going to the doctor. They shutting the doctor down now. Now, no, we can't sip drink because some dumbass put it on Instagram Live and they got their bottle without the doctor name scratched off. And now everybody know that's the doctor that's prescribing drink. So they going to the doctor, shutting the doctor down. Now we ain't got no drink because of this dumb motherfucker on Instagram Live. So, you know, it's certain things like we real drink sippers. We ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? We even when we would talk about mentioning the brand names of the drink, nobody gave a fuck. The companies didn't. We saying bar left and right, bar from Menzime, our farmer. We saying the left. Nobody gave a fuck. We seen actors when I was around. Nobody cared. They didn't care until Justin Bieber got caught sipping drink, and when he had a bottle of Actavis in his house, and the police went in there because he was egging his neighbor's house. And they went in there to see if he had the same eggs or some shit, and they found a bottle of drink. And now it's all over the TMZ, the news everywhere, that Justin Bieber got cough syrup. That's when activists say, nah, we don't care if the rapper's doing it. But if Justin Bieber doing it, this has influenced a different type of generation. They don't want the Justin Bieber fan. They don't care if the rap fans drink it, but they don't want the Justin Bieber fans drinking it. So that's when they, initially, that's when they shut down all operation of sipping, of making Actavis, and that's when all these other
And by the time Homeland Security raided his home in 2016, Actavis was already legend. To the streets, it symbolized exclusivity, but to investigators, it represented the intersection of music, image, and narcotics. And to the company that made it, it was the cost of visibility. In 2017, Harrison Garcia would stand before a federal judge in Miami, convicted on multiple counts: drug trafficking, money laundering, and firearm possession. He was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. For prosecutors, it was the case that proved an image could become evidence. And for Garcia himself, it was the price of perception. Prosecutors would paint him as a supplier to celebrities, with names like Lil Wayne and Chris Brown even being referenced during his trial. He would come across as a man who used social media to glamorize a criminal network. Defense attorneys would argue that he was an impressionable young man chasing validation in the digital age. But during trial, the facts would speak for themselves. Transactions, messages, and surveillance linking his online persona to real-world operations. And the irony was undeniable. The same platform that had elevated him would ultimately convict him. His camera lens would turn into a confession, and his pursuit of attention would become the trail of proof. Generations of artists would rap about codeine, broadcasting what others would reference and rap, but keep concealed. They would turn substance into a symbol, and he would turn that symbol into a market. The Justin Bieber scandal would trigger the shutdown, but Harrison Garcia's influence would make the fallout inescapable, as he would turn coded messages into visible branding, with his digital world giving Actavis an afterlife the company never intended. Actavis would end production to escape attention, but attention was all that Harrison Garcia ever wanted, and he would turn it into money. A global pop star made it a scandal, while a trapper from Miami would make it his mission to turn it into a movement. While one would bring cameras, the other would reap the benefits, and together they would help end an era.